It was Halloween weekend in Dyersburg, Tennessee. Costumes, music, laughter, everything looked normal. But before the sun rose again, a mother of 4 was gone. Her car was found by the roadside. Her body, hidden beneath vines near a cemetery. What happened to Karen Swift became one of the most haunting mysteries the South had ever seen. Before we begin, make sure you hit subscribe to Noir Crime 88. We upload a brand new true crime story every second day, full of real cases, shocking twists, and stories that must never be forgotten. October 29, 2011. It was supposed to be a night of celebration. 44-year-old Karen Swift had gone out for Halloween festivities, dressed in costume, surrounded by friends, and for once, feeling free from the quiet tension that had filled her marriage. Back home, her husband, David Swift, waited with their 4 children. Their marriage had hit a rough patch. Friends say they'd been living separate lives under the same roof, and Karen had recently told close friends she was considering leaving for good. At around 1:30 a.m., Karen arrived back home. Neighbors later said they saw her SUV pulling into the driveway. What happened after that moment remains one of Tennessee's darkest mysteries. By morning, Karen was gone. Her children woke up to find her missing, and her car, a white 2004 Nissan Murano, abandoned along a rural road near Millsfield Highway. To police, it looked like a disappearance. To her family, it was the beginning of a nightmare that would stretch over a decade. Karen Johnson Swift wasn't just another name in the news. She was a mother of 4, a fitness enthusiast, and someone her friends described as the kind of woman who always smiled through pain. She met David years earlier, they'd built a home, raised kids, attended church, and were seen as the perfect small-town family. But behind that image, cracks had begun to show. Karen had filed for divorce not long before her disappearance, citing irreconcilable differences. She had recently moved back into the family home for the sake of the children, but friends said things were tense. Karen was trying to find herself again, starting to work out, meeting new friends, and rediscovering her independence. David, according to investigators, didn't like the change. That Halloween weekend, those tensions quietly reached a breaking point. Karen attended a Halloween party at the Dyersburg Country Club, an event that had become a yearly tradition in town. She was seen socializing, dancing, and even taking photos with friends. Witnesses say she seemed happy, relaxed, like she was finally moving on. Around 1:30 a.m., she left the party to head home. That was the last confirmed sighting of her alive. Later that morning, her car was discovered near a local intersection. The tires were flat. Inside were her belongings, but Karen was gone. Police found something strange, 2 broken cell phones near her house. It looked like a struggle might have taken place. But there were no signs of forced entry, no blood, and no witnesses. At first, people hoped she'd simply left for a while. Maybe she'd gone to cool off. But by the next day, when her family hadn't heard from her, panic spread. Search teams were formed. Helicopters flew over fields. Volunteers combed through the woods. But Karen had vanished into the Tennessee countryside. On December 10, 2011, after nearly 6 weeks of searching, a hunter made a horrifying discovery near Bledsoe Cemetery, just a few miles from Karen's home. Hidden under layers of brush and vines lay a human body, later confirmed to be Karen Swift. The autopsy revealed she had died from blunt force trauma to the head and asphyxiation. Her injuries suggested a violent struggle. She hadn't died instantly, she'd suffered. Detectives immediately turned their attention to David Swift. He'd been the last known person to see her alive. Their relationship was strained. And he had no solid alibi. But there was a problem. The evidence was thin. There was no DNA, no witnesses, and no murder weapon. For investigators, it was a puzzle missing too many pieces. From 2011 to 2022, the Karen Swift case sat in a frustrating limbo. Detectives continued to collect information, re-interview witnesses, and quietly build a case. But no arrests were made. Karen's family pleaded for justice. Her children grew up carrying the weight of uncertainty. Every anniversary brought new heartbreak. Then, after 11 long years, a breakthrough came. In July 2022, the Dyer County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of David Swift, charging him with first-degree premeditated murder. According to prosecutors, they had gathered new testimony and forensic reviews that tied him to the crime. They claimed David had attacked Karen after a heated argument, killed her inside their home, and later dumped her body near the cemetery to make it look like an abduction. Court documents revealed chilling details. Karen had been struck multiple times in the head. She was wearing the same Halloween costume she'd worn that night. David's account of the evening didn't align with phone records. Still, David maintained his innocence. His attorney argued that police had built their case on speculation and emotion, not hard proof. The trial finally began in May 2024, 12 years after Karen's death. Inside the courtroom, emotions ran high. On one side, Karen's family sat clutching each other's hands, wearing pins with her photo. On the other, David sat silently, stoic, expressionless. Prosecutors painted him as a man who couldn't handle losing control. They claimed Karen's decision to leave the marriage was the trigger. They argued that his history of jealousy and temper led to violence that night. They showed jurors photos of the remote cemetery, of Karen's remains, and of the abandoned car that started it all. But the defense fired back, saying there was no DNA, no eyewitness, no weapon, and no confession. They emphasized that David had physical limitations, knee injuries that would have made it difficult to carry a body. As testimony unfolded, one detail stunned the courtroom: investigators had found traces of Karen's hair in the family's garage. Prosecutors suggested she may have been attacked there before being moved. The defense argued it proved nothing, hair could have easily transferred naturally. The trial lasted nearly 3 weeks. And then, the verdict. After 11 hours of deliberation, the jury returned with their decision. David Swift was found not guilty of first-degree murder and second-degree murder. However, jurors were deadlocked on a third charge, voluntary manslaughter. The judge declared a mistrial on that charge. For Karen's family, it was a crushing moment. They had waited more than a decade, only to see the man they believed responsible walk away without a conviction. Her daughter, Ashley, later told reporters, "I know what happened. I know who did it. Justice might have failed us, but the truth hasn't." By early 2025, the final blow came. The voluntary manslaughter charge was officially dismissed. The state announced that it would not retry David Swift, citing lack of new evidence and the statute of limitations. For many, that felt like the end of the road. But for Karen's loved ones, it wasn't over. They continue to hold vigils every Halloween, the night she vanished. Candles light up near Bledsoe Cemetery. And though David Swift was legally cleared, the shadow of suspicion never left him. What really happened inside that house on Halloween night? Why were 2 of Karen's phones found smashed outside? Why did it take 11 years for an arrest? And could new forensic technology one day reveal what human evidence could not? The truth is, in small towns like Dyersburg, secrets run deep. People protect what they know. Karen Swift's story has become more than a cold case. It's a symbol of patience, persistence, and pain. Her family has become advocates for victims of domestic violence. They speak out about how appearances can be deceiving, and how love can sometimes hide danger. Each year, her children post tributes on social media, photos of Karen smiling, laughing, holding them when they were little. Karen's case also drew attention from true crime documentaries and news networks across the U.S., including ABC News, People Magazine, and Court TV. Her story continues to haunt viewers because it feels so real, a story of a family that looked perfect until it wasn't. In the end, Karen Swift's murder remains one of the most unsettling cases in Tennessee's history, not just because of the brutality of her death, but because of the uncertainty that followed. A family torn apart. A husband accused but not convicted. And a small town that still feels the chill of that Halloween night. Justice may have been delayed. It may have been denied. But it hasn't been forgotten. Because every October, when leaves start to fall and Halloween decorations go up, people in Dyersburg remember the night Karen Swift disappeared. If Karen's story moved you, don't let her name fade into silence. Like this video, subscribe to Noir Crime 88, and turn on notifications, because we bring you new, real true crime stories every second day. Share this video to keep Karen's memory alive and let others know that justice deserves persistence.